Hey guys, it's Full Cards here, live and direct from Brooklyn, New York, and today I'm going to do something I don't typically do, I infrequently do, I usually don't do. I am going to pop open, rip open, splash open, tear open a box of SP Authentic from Upper Deck 2009-2010. Benefit of this particular year, of course, is that it would be Brad Marchand's rookie year, it would be Tavares, Duchene, JVR, Evander, Kane, Erik, Karlsson. Some others like Alec, Martinez, who I like, Benn, Colin Wilson, Logan Couture, Anisimov, Eller, Grabner, Niemi, you name it. So that's the benefit of that particular year. The reason why I don't typically open up SP Authentic is that others do. Others fixate, focus, fetishize cards at a higher price point above 100. I usually step under, ensure that we're under $100 so that it's still affordable for kids, for teens, for 20-year-olds in school and so on. So that's why my mojo is a bit different, but this particular box fell under my $100 price point, so I thought, why not? So what do we need to know about the product? Let's see. And now the product is not the same product you put in your hair. I don't put product in my hair. So this would be it. 24 packs per box, 5 cards per pack, 3 signature cards, 1 auto future watch, 2 SP Holo Effects cards, I believe, 3 SP Essential cards. So, I mean, I guess what you need to know about this is basically that the base runs from 1 to 100 and the SP Essentials run from 101 to 160. And then the base future watches are 161 through 200. And then you actually have auto future watches and so on. And actually auto patch future watches, which are sort of like a parallel to the auto future watches in the higher range. So a whole neat stack of candidates. I'm a big proponent of the Sign of the Times. That's the thing that I like most. I've been collecting it for years, and I'll show you that before I close the video. So there goes the seal to seal the deal. And I would be nervous about opening up such a prestigious box, but I'm not. I'm not because I own a lot of cards from this year, including Future Watches and Sign of the Times. But as you can see, it is Johnny T's rookie year, along with other people. I bet you I'll get Karlsson. I don't particularly love Karlsson, so that's why I would get him. Maybe I'll get Lars, Eller, or Niemi because I have my Habs mojo. And then this is cross-pollinating with 2009-2010 Upper Deck Ultimate. Look at that moose. That's a pretty nice moose auto. Encrypted, inscribed. Encrypted is a other concept. So I believe, so 24 packs, we should get a lot of base cards within here, but that's fine. I don't mind the base. The base is actually fairly clean. The other reason I don't usually break SP Authentic, and I know everybody loves it, is I find the base year on year in the Future Watch is actually kind of boring. But that's just my own take on it. I know that they are valuable cards and cherished cards and admired cards. And here we have Alex Ovechkin. So look at the base, clean and neat. That's my shadow on it. This is the back, clean and neat. Flagship product guaranteed, I tell you that much. We already have a hit. I think I'm gonna put that hit aside for now because I can see there was a hit in there. There was a future watch, I think, in that particular pack. I always put cards to the side. I hope you guys don't mind. I know some of you do mind, but I like some suspense, some personal suspense. Let's continue on. So here we have Kuhlman, Versteeg, who was involved in, I believe, one of the early cups of Chicago. Vinny Le Cavalier, who has his cup. And Paul Kariya. I hate Paul Kariya all the time. I love it. Paul Kariya was just a behemoth in our sport. Dealt with injuries, unfortunately. There's Thomas Red-Cheeked Caberlet. Caberlet, I think he also played on the Habs, which is a bit weird to me because I see him as a prototypical Leaf, just as Leafs fans see Plekanec as a turtleneck tab. There's Luke Schenn. There's Henrik Retired Zetterberg. Mike Camilleri, who you know from your Calgary Flames, a real sniper in his day. Jeff Carter, 2 Stanley Cups with your LA Kings, and Marty Havlat. Again, these cards, man, they're so clean, and look at the gleam and the sheen and the light. dripping through like honey on us right now. The lighting's really good right now because it's earlier than my typical, usual, prototypical breaks. But happy to open up this product because, again, it's not something I typically do. And it's just for you guys because I know a couple of you guys have wanted me to open up products like this. Patrick Eliash. And we have a Future Watch, and it's Ray Macias. Ray Macias. So that is not a particularly good one, but it is what it is what it is. So we do have our Future Watch, and it's Ray Macias. He played with the Avs for just a tiny bit. He played with the Marlies. He was a 4th round pick, 124th overall in 2005. But this is a cat who had 8 NHL games under his belt, which is, so here's a guy who fought to be in the show and could not maintain it. But those of you out in Kamloops, BC, you might remember him from the Blazers, and I think that's where he made his mark. Was actually pretty decent with the Blazers. So that would be our first Future Watch. Hopefully it's not our only Future Watch. And we have Habibulin and we got Dion Phaneuf. That Boulin wall. So that was our first Future Watch. Again, this product is very hit and miss. Hopefully we'll get a bit more. I believe we're guaranteed 3 autos, so I'm not panicking. And as I said, I'll show you some of my collection of these cats a bit later on. We do have, oh my God, we have another Future Watch, and it's Ryan O'Mara. So here's our second Future Watch, and this is just a base Future Watch. So again, this one is not exactly the best of the bestest. And Ryan O'Mara was a 1st round pick, a 15th overall. Played for the Oilers a tad and played for the Ducks a tad. But again, only 33 NHL games. But he was with the Erie Otters, so that's where most people will remember him, and maybe on the Crunch because he was with the Crunch as well. So we've hit our second Future Watch. 1 auto, 1 not, both a little bit meh. Continuing on, Patty Marleau, there's Alex Kovalev, Johan Franzen, and Alfred Sin. Okay. 1 auto at this point. There's Pavel Datsyuk, Scotty Gomez. Oh, we have an SP Essentials. Let's see who that is. We've got Henrik Sedin, Scotty Gomez, who has had 2 Stanley Cups with your New Jersey Devils. And our SP Essentials is, oh, Shane Doan. Oh, that's nice. Cool. So we have Captain Shane Doan, and it's numbered 166 of 1999. Cool. That's not bad. Okay, so that's our best insert thus far. There's Peter Mueller. The rest kind of, not great. Oh, that's the pack I put aside. Okay. Keep track of what you're doing. Bolton cards. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video. Continuing on here, we do have an insert of some sort. This is actually an auto, I believe, some sort. I have no idea who it is, though. And we have Anze Kopitar, Olli Jokinen, Mark Stahl, Mike Richards, and Jonathan Taves. Captain Sirius, as he's usually called, or called on occasion. So here we have Brian Little, Big Joe, Jumbo Joe Thornton, 10th overall in the history of the game in assists, just reaching that mark now, I believe. Steve Mason, Derek Roy, and Simon Gagné. SP Authentic, flagship product. Doing it. Why not? We've got Varlamov, we've got Bobby Ryan, and we have something here, and this is a numbered card. And it's another Future Watch. Bobby Sanguinetti. Man, we're getting really lackluster, impoverished Future Watches. But Bob Sanguinetti, I think he was a decent draft pick. He was 1st round, 21st overall in 2006. So there is that. He played just a couple of games with the Rangers and sort of made the Hurricanes a couple of times. But then he went off to the Swiss League ultimately. Okay, number to 999, 399. So another mediocre Future Watch. this has been a tough break thus far. Still hopeful we'll hit something that resonates a bit better, let's just say. This looks like a base pack. Josh Bailey, who's done a decent job with your Islanders. Decent on the plus-minus side, definitely an assist guy. Jason Pominville, who's had a long career, a long storied career at this point. Patrick Kane, and Mike, the legendary American player, Medano. One of the best players in the history of our game. We have the King, Henrik Lundqvist, Chris Stewart, and then we have another SP Essentials, and it's Mikko Koivu. That's nice. Nice little one of Mikko Koivu. First round draft pick, 6th overall. He's played almost 1,000 games. He'll probably reach 1,000 games fairly shortly. Put up a good 700 points in his career. Not quite as good as his brother, but he probably will end up outlasting him, maybe probably play longer. So that's Mikko Koivu. We got Voracek, and we have Erik Stahl. Still hoping to spike something. Ideally get one of the big 2 or 3 future watches, although we've already hit multiples, unfortunately, of sort of lesser names. Ryan Getzlaff, who's now playing on a line with Kasha and Pontus Aberg, I believe. Still doing it, Getzlaff. Dougie Waite, there's Mikko Koivu, Thomas Vokoun, and we have the Flower. Flower was drafted 1st overall in 2003. But what's amazing about him, I believe he's 10th overall in wins in the history of the game already, which is amazing stuff. He's played over 770 games in his career, which is really actually quite spectacular for a goalie to have that kind of stick-to-itiveness. He'll be up there with the Luongos in terms of and Lundqvist and so on. Certainly, Hall of Famer is the Flower. We have Zach Parise. We have Devin Setaguchi, and I think I have one of those hollows in here. Let's see who it is. So there's Phil the Thrill, Mike Ribeiro, and we have a Holo FX. And it looks to be Carter. Is that not Jeff Carter? It is Jeff Carter. So these are kind of interesting. They're very hollowy and very FXy, very rainbow-ish, kind of pretty cards. Okay, so that's another insert, and then I put a bunch of packs. I put the thick packs aside. They probably all have blanks in them, but on the off chance we get one of those patches, right? I mean, I haven't hit anything thus far, so you'd think I'd hit something. So I guess, I mean, maybe you guys kept track of where all those hits were. They were certainly all up top. Let's see what else we get here. I think there's a SP Essentials in this one. We have Thomas Vanek, who's played on 8 different teams. Mostly plays in the Midwest, around the Midwest and the East, because his family's there. He's a very slow skater too. That's the one thing about Vanek, very slow, but he has finish, which is always decent. So we did hit a Steve Mason SP Essentials, number 150 of 1999. So that would be our 3rd and last SP Essential, I believe. Still a couple of packs left. Some of these are thick, some of these are thin. Continue going with the thin ones for now. Okay, we have Blake Wheeler, we have Mike Green, we have the Stammer, Patrick Berglund, and Zdeno Chara. Another, okay, we do have something in here. So we have an Iggy. I think it's another Holo Effects. We have the Kipper. Kipper, the first ever Finn to reach the Stanley Cup Finals. Albeit he did not win. The first Finn to win would be who? I'll let you guys decide. Jason Arnott. Iggy. Oh, there's Sid the Kid. We've hit Sid the Kid. And we hit Matt Duchene. That's really nice. Holo FX. But I guess it's an insert rookie card. Consider a rookie card. I'll take that as a rookie card. So that's actually our first real, somewhat decent hit, I'd say. There's something in here. I'm going to do that in a minute. This one's just a blank. Okay. Danny Heatley, Carey Price, and an SP Essentials of the Wayner, the great one. So we hit a Wayne Gretzky. That's nice. $5.99 of $10.99. So I guess we've hit a fourth SP Essential. We hit this thing, which is not going to do us any good unless we send cards on to other people, which we might do. And then a last pack, and then I'll open up those ones I put on the side there, which I thought were potentially, probably, maybe hits. Here we go. Sam Gagner, Nicholas Backstrom, a large piece of cardboard, Nicholas Lidstrom, Roberto Luongo, who now is, I think, is third and fourth in games played in the history of the game and wins in the history of the game. Probably is also up there with regard to losses, though, of course, given how much he's played. All our base. Okay, so I had a couple of packs left. I'm just really curious as what was in them. So let's see. I thought I had a couple more hits. Let's see what they were, if there's anything worthwhile in here. There's definitely something here. Okay, let's see what it is. Dion Phaneuf, Alex Ovechkin. We have Chris Pronger. And we have, okay. Yeah, well, we just hit the Future Watch of Brad Marchand. That's great. I mean, I don't know how much this card's worth. Maybe it's $40 or something, maybe less, but at least we hit, so that's like a second, so we got two, wait a second, so we got two Future Watches. Is that normal? I didn't even realize, maybe that's how they do it. That's very cool. That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so we hit the Brad Marchand. So I believe he was a third rounder. I'm just going to double, quadruple check on that. Brad Marchand was, in fact, a third rounder. He was 71st overall in 2006. And thus far, he's played some 636 games, and he's already put up almost 500 points, a good 650 penalty minutes. He has been suspended some 4 times, I believe. 4 times, 5 times, unlike Nazem Kadri, sorry, because I'm a Habs fan, unlike Nazem Kadri, not all his suspensions were hits to the head. Very cool, and it has his number, and it's a very tight, nice signature, 280 of 999. So that's nice. Okay, so we're sort of finally, we hit something. We hit a little something. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, I know this is craziness. This one has, I think we've hit a patch. So let me just see this. So we have Alex Hemsky, we got Shane Doan, we got Milan Hazuk. Okay, we have Jeff Carter again. Oh, we have Tim Thomas, Stanley Cup champ Tim Thomas, who did it all very, very late in his career, like at 37. And then we have a goaltender. And the goaltender, it's a Future Watch number to 100 of Michael Neuwirth. Neuwirth. It's hard for me to say that. I'm so taken aback by that. So we have an auto patch, number to 100, 30 of 100. Wow. I've never had an SP Authentic, but I don't particularly buy this product, so you would understand why I would not have it. But these are parallels of the normal Future Watches. So we've had a box with over future watches, something insane like that. So this box is getting better by the minute. So, I mean, you know, we're talking about a second-round pick, 34th overall in 2006. A lot of these guys in this draft are from 2006. But, you know, he's played good 250 games in the NHL, has a decent save percentage of .911. He's a flyer, he's a saber, he's a cap. This is actually a pretty nice hit. This is actually a really solid hit. I will take it. I've got no complaints. Okay, last stack, guys. So let's see what we have here. I thought I saw something else. So here's Kari Lehtinen. Here is Ilya Kovalchuk. And here is Marian Hossa. Sorry, the light is getting a bit shaded here. And finally, we have a Champions. I think this is an auto. I've seen a Karen Lee Gartner of these, who is a Canadian legend. It's Bodie Miller. Weird, cool. We hit Bodie Miller. He's a legend skier. He's an absolute skiing legend. That is unbelievable. Wow, what a weird insert. That's really, really cool. Now, this guy is an absolute legend. We're talking about a guy who has won numerous World Cup races, who at the Olympic Games in Vancouver won gold. In Salt Lake, he won silver. I think he has 6 gold medals. Not gold medals, 6 Olympic medals, of which 1 is gold, 3 are silver, and 2 are bronze. That is really cool. What an interesting box. This box is so interesting. All right, well, let's do a bit of a recap. Let me get ready for your recap. Okay, guys, time for the recap. So, in terms of base for a face, we did receive 2 chunky, hefty, significant stacks, a very clear, clean, white, significant looking base. Here, look at the flower. Look how clean his look is. He, of course, was a #1 draft pick, I believe in 2003, in that era at least, and now is 10th all-time in wins, I believe. So we do have our 2 chunks of chunky base. In terms of SP Essentials, so initially the break seemed like a bit of a bust, but turns out not so much. And just to note, in terms of amount of base we get, 5 times 24 would be 120, so we would have around, you know, minus our hits, so we do have a good 100 plus of base. Mind the fact that there are lots of reduxes and doubles and redundancy over and over again at infinitum. But in terms of SP Essentials, we actually hit the Wayner. We hit Gretzky, which is number 219.99. We hit Steve Mason, number 219.99. We hit Mikko Koivu. And we hit Shane Doan. So these would be our SP Essentials. Real crisp in the light here. I'll just plunk these puppies right down over here. Wait, let's put them right on the box. Let's showcase these bad boys like so. What next? In terms of our SP Holo Effects, we did hit 2. We hit Jeff Carter, 2-time Stanley Cup winner with your LA Kings. And we hit Matt Duchene. And what's kind of interesting about this is, I was thinking, it was sort of dwelling on me slowly but surely. This is actually sort of a rookie card because it was his rookie year. So we did not hit his future watch, but we hit the Holo FX. I don't know if that is helpful if people consider these rookie cards. I actually have my own opinion on this stuff. I do consider them rookie cards, but it's an insert rookie card, if you will. So that's fine. So I'll put those 2 bad boys right over there. Then in terms of future watches, this is where it gets weird. Early in the break, I hit 3 and they all sucked. Well, they're guys who are fighting to be in the show, so I actually should show some respect. I like to think that I love everybody in the hobby. But in the end, we ended up with 5 future watches in this box, which is kind of bonkers, but I'm cool with it. So firstly, it may be a bit leastly, is Ryan O'Mara. Ryan O'Mara was a first-round pick, 15th overall by the New York Islanders back in 2005. you know, he's basically from the Erie Otters, was fighting to be on the Edmonton Oilers as well as the Ducks. Essentially, ultimately ended up, I think, in the Italy League. Did that for a while. But it's numbered to 999, 527, and 999. Then we have Bobby Sanguinetti. I think a lot of people probably remember him because he was a first-round pick as well. You'll probably see him in a lot of cards from this era. He was a 21st overall in 2006, drafted by the Rangers, I believe, and was with the Rangers, was with the Hurricanes, ultimately went out over the pond to the Swiss League. So that's that. Then I hit this cat here again. So this was the first one I actually hit, and he is Raymond Macias, and you might remember him from the Kamloops Blazers. He certainly played a couple of games with the Avs, but again he was mostly an AHLer. So that's a bit unfortunate. However, I did hit one of the big 2, 3, 4. I did hit Brad Marchand, so that's nice. It's really cool to hit Brad Marchand. I'm a Habs fan, so it pains me. If you're a Leafs fan, it probably pains you too. But Brad Marchand is one of the best players in our game and has been over the last couple of years. And you know, he's played over 600 games. He's put up a good 500 points, a good 600 plus penalty minutes. He was a third-round draft pick in 2006, like the rest of the class. Was 71st overall. So I did hit the Brad Marchand, so that's kind of nice. Finally, so as you can see, as you can tell, as you can divine from that stackage of Future Watches, I did get 4 of them, and I did get a fifth one. I actually hit the Michael Neuwirth auto patch. Auto patch, and it's a beautiful looking card. It's absolutely a sick card. It's numbered to 100. It's 30 of 100, and that's a solid one actually from this particular year. It's definitely not bad at all. So pretty happy to hit him. He was a second round pick, 34th overall, again in the same class in 2006. But he's basically been the Flyers goalie for many years, but prior to that he was Buffalo and Washington's goaltender. So he is an absolute NHLer, and it's just a beautiful card. So that's kind of gorgeous, actually. Finally, last but not least up on our list, I hit one of these champion autos, and I hit Bodie Miller. So they do have these interesting inserts. I know that they do have a Karen Lee Gartner, who is now an analyst on Canadian television for the Olympics and for downhill skiing, and she's fabulous, and she was a gold winner, a surprise gold winner, probably not to herself, but to us. And Bodie Miller is probably one of the most renowned, I believe, American skiers. He's from New Hampshire, I believe, initially, and he's won some 6 Olympic medals, including a gold medal in Vancouver. He sort of ran the gamut in Vancouver with the gold, silver, and bronze. And here I happened to hit his autos, so that's kind of cool. So we did, in fact, receive 4 autos in here. One a sort of marginal Future Watch, one a decent Future Watch, one a significant patch, as well as the Bodie Miller. So that would be my foray into 2009, 2010 SP Authentic. Before I cut out, I'm going to go through some of the Sign of the Times that I've been collecting over the last little bit. Hey guys, just before I vacate, evaporate, vanish, one thing I want to do is just give an indication how sometimes I'm able to avoid the SP Authentic $100 price point. Since the late 90s, like 1997, 1998, I have been collecting the Sign of the Times from SP Authentic over eBay, through trades and so on, in lots mostly. And I've gotten some really good ones like the Iggy on the far left there, or the Sundin. I actually have the Patrick Roy, the Jose Theodore. So I have been amassing these over the years. You can potentially, over eBay, buy multiple cards, like 20 cards for $1 a card, $2 a card. You can trade with people. The other benefit of this too, for someone like myself, is I can sort of aggregate a bunch of semi-stars, non-stars, and stars. And I like focusing on everybody. I like doing the hobby nice and broadly. I do have a couple of Future Watches actually in this binder for whatever reason. I don't necessarily collect them. I actually find Future Watches boring. I know that's travesty to say that, but yeah, man. But so I've been collecting these, as I said, since 1998, all the way through the 2000s. These are from 2007, 2008, which would be the Carey Price rookie year, which would be the Jonathan Toews rookie year. I do have the Price stored away, stashed away, packed away somewhere, safe and sound. But the key thing is these Sign of the Times are really sort of beautiful cards. They tend to be a bit different every year, year on year. And their price points tend to be actually fairly delicious. Their price points tend to be really low. And even the Crosby Sign of the Times, I believe, is actually somewhat affordable. These here are the 2015-16 Sign of the Times SOTTs from McDavid's rookie year in 2015, right? There's Chucky. And these I got, so give you another, there's Andrew Ladd, a couple of others. We've got Bobby Ryan on this page. But I received all of these, like some 50 of these puppies, some 60 of these puppies for really, I think, $1 a card because I probably bought it during the off season. So that can occur, it can happen. Then you round it out by targeting the individual superstars if you want them intermixed, intersticed into the mix. There's Johnny LeClaire on the bottom left and so on. Yeah, man, so that's the way to do that. That's one way of doing it here. We run into my OP cheese. Not fromage cheese, but just OPG. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to give you an indication, a little bit of flavor saver of how you can potentially collect over eBay to avoid having to drop mucho dinero on these hobby boxes that can be very expensive, particularly from years of great draft classes coming through. I'm Fulton Cards, live and direct from a place called Brooklyn, New York.